To perform a critical swim speed test, or CSS test, you will do a nice long warm-up and then perform a 400 metre time trial. It's important that this is done at your maximal effort to get the most accurate result. Then you'll take a rest so you feel fully recovered before doing a 200 metre time trial, again at your best effort. You'll take both these times from the 400 and 200 and put them into a CSS calculator. This will give you a number, your CSS pace, expressed as a time per 100 metres. This is essentially your threshold or a time you could hold for 1500 metres. This time is really useful for working on your threshold and aerobic paces in training and is a super easy way to replicate and repeat so you can see whether you're improving your threshold pace. This is Abby and I preparing for our 200 metre time trial. After the 400, we did 200 metres of super easy swimming and took about 5 minutes rest as well. I did the 400 metre in 5 minutes and I was actually relatively happy with that and feeling pretty good. Now the 200 metre was a very different story. After the first turn, I got cramp in my right leg, which normally I could finish the 200 metre with, but then on the second turn I got cramp in both of my quads. Now this was actually awful. I did try to keep swimming, but if you've ever had cramp before, you know it's pretty awful, and when it goes fully there's just no way you can keep going.
I got cramp. Both quads.
We noticed.
Yeah. Mate, you said I've literally got bilateral quad cramp. Good job, my friend. At least one of us got it done.
I was like, I can't deal with it right now.
No, good.
So in the end, I took a little bit of a break and then repeated the 200 with very little kicking. So a bit disappointed that it's not a super accurate CSS because I couldn't use my normal kicking, but still managed to get the job done. In the end, I swam a 5-minute 400 metre and a 2:25 200. This gave me a CSS pace of 1 minute and 18 seconds per 100 metres. Doing a CSS test is a great first step, but I think it's super important to perform a confirmation set, essentially a way of testing whether your CSS pace is accurate. So after our test, Abby and I performed 6 times 200 metres freestyle, trying to hold our CSS pace with 30 seconds rest between. Now this was quite surprising for me because I thought that 1:18 pace was maybe a little bit slow. Turns out it is completely accurate. On my first 200, I got the time exactly, but dropped off majorly in the second 200. Now maybe that shouldn't have surprised me because as a sprinter I have always struggled with threshold pacing. But this was kind of a perfect example of why CSS testing can be useful for guiding training. After the second blowout, I managed to get back on the pace. And in the end, after 6 200s, managed to hit 3 perfectly, 1 slightly over, and 2 potentially a little bit too slow. So in the end, the CSS test was a great way of giving me insight into my threshold test, or my threshold pace, and the confirmation set of 6 times 200 helped to solidify what that pace feels like and to test it in training.